if you leave or whatever, I bought mine and my son's like 2,200, 2,500, whatever. That's you can't. It's not his. Anyway, he only did a few Sifrei Torah. So a few years ago, I don't know why I wanted to give Rabbi. He was in deal. I told Rabbi I talked to him. He wanted 100,000 to write the Sefer. So I told the Rabbi, talk to him, see if he whatever. He went down to 90. He said this is going to be the last one I'm going to do. He only did 2 or 3. Rabbi Nahum tells me I only did this for Zachor. This is the only one I. So I had it done, and I ended up doing. So why am I telling you the story? Because I try to bring it for Kippur here. So I bought it a couple of years. So my wife, she goes, "Where's the other one?" Like it's in her, it's ingrained. When she sees it, she so something like that you can't change. It's she's. I said this one's. I know the writing is more. A rabbi. So David told the lady he had to make sure he had to get his $20 worth all in the same day. It's okay, David. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna be here tomorrow. Oh, so you're good to go now. You woke up on the good side of the bed today.
Eli, you okay, Eli?
Yeah, I'm just out. I'm in the city.
Oh, you're in the city, very nice. Look, see if you can get to Megillah Daf Gimel Amud Aleph.
Sure. I just saw your old student, Rabbi Mizrahi.
Yeah. People like him very much. It's good.
Oh, they love him in the city.
Yeah.
Truth is, they love Rabbi Farhi over there also.
He's learning from Rabbi Farhi how to be Mekarem. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you have to have a different mind.
We're holding it in the fifth.
I think Rabbi Massad would fit in the city.
In the fifth white line. משפחה ומשפחה למה יעתה? דף ג' עמוד א', the fifth white line. אמר רבי יוסי בר חנינא, the pasuk says, the Megillah is נקראת בכל מדינה ומדינה, בכל עיר ועיר, משפחה ומשפחה למה יעתה? What is משפחה? אמר רב יהודה, אמר רב, כהנים בעבודתם, this is a משפחה, משפחת כהנים, ולוויים בדוכנם, וישראל במעמדם, כולם מבטלים עבודתם, ובאים לשמוע מקרא מגילה. הכהן,
גימל עמוד א', you said?
גימל, בגילה.
The white line?
Yeah. The fifth white line.
Oh, the second white line.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is the middle one. Yeah. So משפחות, משפחה ומשפחה, משפחות כהנים ולוויים. תניא נמי הכי, כהנים בעבודתם ולוויים בדוכנם וישראל במעמדם, כולם מבטלים עבודתם ובאים לשמוע מקרא מגילה. מכאן, from this הלכה, סמכו של בית רבי, שמבטלים תלמוד תורה, באים לשמוע מקרא מגילה. קל וחומר מעבודה. This Beit Rebbe, even though their learning wasn't a much higher level, and all the commentators are asking, מה פירוש מבטלים תלמוד תורה למגילה? מגילה is also תלמוד תורה. If you're telling me before כהנים בעבודתם, לוויים בדוכנם means, if you have a choice to say ברכת כהנים or to hear מקרא מגילה בציבור, you go to מקרא מגילה, so this is מבטלים. But by Torah, מה זה מבטלים? You're coming. Instead of learning יבמות, you're learning מגילה. In a minute we'll talk about it. מקל וחומר מעבודה. ומה העבודה בבית המקדש? שהיא חמורה. מבטלינן, to hear Torah, to hear מגילה, תלמוד תורה, לא כל שכן.
So the avodah in the Beit HaMikdash is on a higher level than Talmud Torah. That's what he's saying.
Which means this, for the same reason that Talmud Torah is nidche for Bikur Cholim or any mitzvah oferet. So but those who are learning, right? and you have a mitzvah over it, you have to stop. If you're Kohen or Levi, you have to do it. This halacha is recorded in Shulchan Aruch. Open the Shulchan Aruch you have in front of you. Shulchan Aruch, Siman Taf Reish, Pei Zayin, Seif Bet. Taf Reish, Pei Zayin, Seif Bet.
I think, Rabbi, the difference, most people don't consider listening to the Megillah Talmud Torah.
Like Eli
Right?
says, people are not looking on it as Talmud
That's what I'm
Torah.
saying,
The
right.
reality is it's part of the 24 Sifrei Kodesh.
But you're not learning it, you're just reading it.
In a minute, we'll see. All the Gedolei Achronim are asking this question.
Pezah.
Pezah. It's all the way. Remember, Chod Megillah is the last topic in Shulchan Aruch is discussing. You can see if Bet. Taf Reish Pezah, Seif Bet. You have it? Taf Reish.
But 387, I didn't hear.
Both lights are going down?
Pezah, Seif Bet. This is 687.
Okay, just go.
אורח חיים. says the מחבר, מבטלים תלמוד תורה, עיקר בזה גמרא לשמוע מקרא מגילה, קל וחומר לשאר מצוות של תורה. קל וחומר, שכולם נדחים מפני מקרא מגילה, שאין לך דבר שנדחה מקרא מגילה מפניו, the only mitzvah that we would push away Megillah for a mitzvah is only one. The only exception is חוץ ממת מצווה שאין לו קוברים. If somehow a person bumps into a body that no one is מטפל, שהפוגע בו קוברות תחילה, first you have to bury the body, ואחר כך קורא. Okay, let's see first the משנה ברורה.
Where do we have, what's the din in Binyan Beit HaMikdash? Is it nidcheh for Talmud Torah or not?
Yes, because Binyan Beit HaMikdash is the same as every mitzvah over. Talmud Torah is nidcheh for tefillah. Talmud Torah is nidcheh for bikur cholim. Talmud Torah is nidcheh. But we'll see in a minute. Remember, the way we read it now, it seems that I'm pushing away the mitzvah deoraita for Mikra Megillah. Yes, this is the way it sounds.
You're saying Talmud Torah.
או מגילה, מבטלים תלמוד תורה לשמוע מקרא מגילה.
Right.
Yes, the מקרא מגילה pushes away תלמוד תורה, then קל וחומר לשאר מצוות, שנדחים, נדחים means מתבטלים or are being pushed away as far as priority. See the language in Shulchan Aruch seems to say, forget about the other mitzvah, focus on Megillah. Comes the Rama, and it's not a machloket because the Rama brings the Bet Yosef. Look at the Rama a second before Mishnah Berurah. וכל זה לא מאירי אלא בדאיקה השהות לעשות שניהם. Yes? I have time to do both. You might say that Megillah is the Rabbanan. Why should I push A, B, or C before Megillah? The other ones are the Oraita? No. כל זה לא מאיר אלא בדאיקה השהות לעשות שתיהם. אבל אם אי אפשר לעשות שתיהם, אין שום מצווה דאורייתא נדחית מפני מקרא מגילה.
So you would do anything before, because
Correct.
it's the Rabbanan.
If it's either or, says the Bet Yosef בשם התוספות in the Ran. So again, when the Shulchan Aruch told us you push away means priority-wise. Normally, mitzvah deoraita should be first. Here, even though mitzvah mikra megillah is a mitzvah derabanan or midvrei sofrim, we'll see later, but it's definitely not as big as other mitzvahs. ועד אמת מצווה קודם, היינו דווקא באפשר ולקורא אחר כך. We'll talk about it later. Let's go now to the Mishnah Berurah.
So that means the way we just explained it, when it says mitzvah, the only thing is the order.
Correct.
Do the mitzvah first,
Correct.
and then do the
Correct. Because the met mitzvah is not going to be batel. The body is there. There's no one around. Yes.
No, but we're doing it for Zilzul. If you know you're somewhere, God forbid, nobody's going to touch the body, I can go do Megillah and come back. He's telling you don't do that because it's Zilzul Lamed.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's why you're not.
You can't keep the money, you can't leave the
No,
money
he's saying, let's say you discover the body.
You can cover it, let's
Let's say you
say.
discover the body half an hour before sunset. You didn't read the Megillah yet that day. He says, read the Megillah because the Bet Mitzvah you can bury in half an hour and a half from now, yes? You can bury Balayla. So, Jimmy is saying, I would think, no, Bet Mitzvah, because of the cover of the Bet Mitzvah.
Well, if you depends where you find the body. Also, if you're worried that it's at a place that animals can come,
correct.
then you can't leave the body.
Correct.
Depends what the
If the body is unprotected and you're afraid that the body is going to be humiliated, we're talking about the kabod of
The body
burying.
is in the funeral home right now.
No, that's not a
Okay,
problem.
no, he could, the
This
guy
is
could
not
be there
Bet Mitzvah.
outside.
Bet
That's not
Mitzvah.
a
Bet Mitzvah
No,
means
but that's like you found the body on the street.
Bet Mitzvah means you are the father in the desert. Bet Mitzvah is only if there's no one around. If you can call people to help you, this is not. If you can pick up a phone call, the Chavra Kadisha comes, it's not Bet Mitzvah. Bet Mitzvah is you are the only one there with the body.
Yeah, we had to this rabbi one time with this because, like, God forbid today, if somebody loses somebody, right? You don't have to pray whatever you're sick. But the truth is, what do you do today? You make one phone call
Right.
and you call the Hevra.
Right.
You're not really sick in the mitzvah.
This is because of Onen. Onen is a different
Yeah, no, but
body.
I'm just saying,
We're talking about strangers. Look at the Mishnah Berurah, סעיף קטן ז', go back to עמוד א', מבטלים תלמוד תורה, רוצה לומר, אף לתלמוד תורה שקול כנגד כל המצוות, any way you look at it, it's not a slogan, it's real, yeah? Which means on the scale, yes? If you put Talmud Torah and any other mitzvah, Talmud Torah is always more important. ואפילו, okay, now listen to this. He's answering indirectly the question I was asking you before. What is the חידוש מבטלים תלמוד תורה למקרא מגילה? מקרא מגילה is also Talmud Torah. So he answers it in one way, look what he says. ואפילו הייתה תלמוד תורה שחבורה גדולה של מאה שלומדים באיזה בית. We have a class every night from 7 to 8. A big group. אפילו אחי צריך לבטל וללך לקרוא תורה בציבור, משום ברוב עם הדרת מלך. You know what he says now?
Right.
We have a big shul of the community of 500 people. Our class is 100 people. Stop your class, go to the shul, even though you can get it here with 100
Right.
people. Yes. So this is one answer, yes?
But that's only if that's your shul, Rabbi.
Right.
You don't have to go to a shul that you don't go to if it's a bigger shul.
אפילו אחי צריך לבטל וללך לקרותה בציבור משום רוב העם הדרת מלך. וכתב החיי אדם או ג'ימי ג'אסד מורלס מכל מקום. מי שמתפלל כל השנה בקביעות במניין המיוחד. You have your own מניין every day.
Yeah, it's a standard.
אין צריך ללך לבית הכנסת, even though in the בית הכנסת, yes, even though the בית הכנסת is a much bigger מניין. Look a second in the שער הציון.
So what are they saying really? What is he saying? So what happens if there's a group of 5 people or 6 people that are learning?
סליחה?
But then you don't have Barov Am Hadrat Melech.
We have to stop because you have to hear the Megillah, the Tzibur, unless you have no other choice. This is why he told you 100 or 10.
100, okay.
Megillah lechatchila has to be the Tzibur because this is the Pirsumen Isa. So even though we have 25 people that are learning every day,
אני חושב רק שהם קיבלו את זה למשכן,
Yaakov, you have to mute, Yaakov. Yeah. Look at the שער הציון ח'.
No, but this is an applicable case. We had people that they used to make a minyan in their house, let's say, for Megillah. And Rabbi Mazadon, I remember we learned
Exactly.
this is wrong. You have 50 people, but in the shul, either if you
Yeah,
pray here,
you know
there's
what
200 people.
Jimmy says people used to make a minyan for Megillah, 50 people in
Easier
a
for the
private home.
ladies, for the, you know.
Here the Shulchan Aruch says, go to the Sha'arei Tzion, you have 1,000 people there.
But that was their shul
This is
also.
so many
That was their shul.
So again, if it was a minyan kavua there every time.
No, they did it just for Purim. Yeah.
Right. So look at the Mishnah, שער הציון ח', בבית רבי גם כן, היו מבטלים מלימודם. listen carefully, how he answers the question. אף שאצלו היה בוודאי ישיבה גדולה, why does he have to stop dead ישיבה גדולה in his house and go to a big shul? ויעליב גמרא קל וחומר מעבודה. Listen carefully. שהיו מבטלים הכהנים מעבודתם, please listen good, I will learn את הגמרא now. אף שהיה אצלם גם כן יותר מ10 ו13 כהנים זוכים בו, you know what he says? The Gemara says in Yomah, 13 Kohanim used to divide the Korban Tamid Shechach. So they can read the Megillah where they are. Take out the Megillah, Purim morning, read it. Says, no, you go to a bigger shul. Why? I have a minyan here. So this is how the Gemara learns the Kal Vachomer, yes? והיו מבטלים מעבודתם ומאחרים אותה, יראו מאחרים אותה. Used to delay the עבודה of the קורבן, כדי לשמוע מקודם מקרא מגילה. So here the משנה ברורה learns now a new pshat of the Gemara. Not מבטלים the כהנים are not doing the עבודה. Of course they do. But even though the עבודה is the right and they do it every day, they are postponing the fulfillment of the קורבן to go to hear מקרא מגילה בציבור. וכל שכן, תלמוד תורה דקילה מעבודה.
It's less?
No, דקילה מעבודה, because you are מבטל תלמוד תורה ועבודה. ואיתה בגמרא דווקא תלמוד תורה דיחיד, אבל תלמוד תורה דרבים חמירה מעבודה.
Oh, that's what I was asking you. Which one is more?
Correct.
A person learning individually is less than avodah, but a group is more than avodah.
This is what the Gemara says later. We're not reading the Gemara. So let's read now the Shulchan Aruch.
So, Rabbi, you're saying they didn't do the Talmid Shel Boker until after they read the Megillah?
This is exactly what the
They didn't even start the process?
Correct.
They had
They have to slaughter in time, because when you slaughter it, it's before Zman Megillah. But after you slaughter, then you sprinkle the blood. Then you have 13 parts.
That they put off.
Exactly.
When is this man the Krota by Yom, right? When is this total Zman for Kriyat Megillah? What is the parameters for the reading of Megillah?
Okay, so the Gemara says later you have a Mishnah. The Mishnah says, just a second here. וכולם, משעלה עמוד השחר, יצא בדיעבד, if you are in a hurry, you can read it from עמוד השחר.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the end time.
The end time is sunset.
So I don't understand. So if the end time is till sunset, why don't they do the Talmid Shel Shachar B'Zman and then read the Megillah later until you have all day to read it?
Now we appreciate exactly what the Gemara is saying. Reading the Megillah early in the morning when anyone is up is so important. He's asking to do it. Do the Megillah 3 hours later. And this is exactly the point of the Gemara, that reading it on time. We're telling the Kohanim, leave the Kohanim.
But you just said on time is all day. You didn't say there's a time that is is there any sense there's a preferable time?
No, it's like a Brit Milah.
It doesn't say Vayashke Mordechai Baboker exactly. I mean, it's a nice pshat, but it's sort of a little shalashudasi, I think.
No, but this is Shulchan Aruch. This is the point. But
look, read it says Mikro, but what's up Lishnota by Yom. Zmana kol alav shiyom zmana kol hayom.
In a minute, we're going to see it inside.
Rabbi, I think isn't the question why the Hachamim, when they were metaken the Megillah, gave it such a hashibut that they said they could have very easily said finish your stuff and at 11 o'clock read the Megillah. I mean, they could have said that. They didn't. They gave it
every day. They very specific. They're very specific in the time of Tefillah. Every day, Shachar Mincha. They're so specific, and Megillah all day long.
Megillah is all day long, the same as other mitzvah that can be performed all day. And the same as by every mitzvah. So is here. But here it's more than that. We are pushing other mitzvot to read Megillah b'tzibur in the morning because, I mean, this is the point. The point that we're going to learn in 2 weeks is that the real Persumen Isa of Megillah is so strong. Megillah is pushing others if the others can be fulfilled later. This is the point of the Gemara. Look further in the Mishnah Berurah.
Rabbi, I wonder, does it have anything to do with that? This was if you think about it, this is even more than Pesach. Because Pesach, Paro didn't want to kill us. Right? He just wanted slaves. Over here, this was an annihilation of the entire nation. I mean, it's why the rabbis, no, to get into the mind of the rabbi, this affects every single Jew. It was an annihilation of
Also, it's
Paro didn't want to kill you. They killed you. They want to kill you, Paro. Paro just wanted you to be a slave. Okay, that was because he was worried for a Geulah. If it wasn't for a Geulah, you don't want to kill anybody. He's opposite. He wants the slaves. You don't kill you know.
End up only with women slaves.
What?
If he kills all the men, you end up with women slaves.
okay. So look a second. The Shulchan Aruch says that the only mitzvah that we would not push away is a met mitzvah as long as you can read the Megillah later. Yes. So look at the Mishnah Berurah second. Siv Katan Chet. The Shulchan Aruch says that met chut mimetz mitzvah she'ein lo kovrin. Yes. So look at Mishnah Berurah.
Where are you? You see?
Yeah, Mishnah Berurah Chet. It says חוץ ממת מצווה שאין לו קוברים כדי צורכו. מה זה כדי צורכו? בלשון זה מוכח שאף שהוא בעיר שיש לו קוברים שוב אינו מותר בביזיון, הזריזות לקוברו קודם הוא רק תוספת כבוד. David's question, זה חברה קדישה, אבל אפילו אחר מותר להקדימו קודם מקרא מגילה. If you notice, this is only the Rama. According to the Mechaber, it's not so. According to the Mechaber, only if the Met Mitzvah doesn't have anyone else. Otherwise, if you have a Chavra Kadisha, even though for him he's a lonely man, read the Megillah and then again bury him, and this is the Machloket. Okay. Now look a second. Mishnah Berurah Tet.
When you say this guy, is he going to miss minyan? What are we talking? What's this case of the Met Mitzvah? Right. If there's a minyan later, right?
If there is a minyan later, then everyone agrees that the Met Mitzvah will be called no matter what.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about when the guy's going to read it b'yahid, yani.
Right. והוא הדין לעניין מילה ומגילה. אם עיקר האפשרות לעשות שתיהם, מגילה קודם משום פרסומי ניסה. According to the Pri Chadash and the Pri Megadim, Megillah is before Brit Milah is the Oraita, פרסומי ניסה. והעולם נוהגים למול קודם המגילה וכדלקמן. Okay. Pri Chadash says, based on the logic of this seif, the Megillah should be first, but העולם נוהגים not so. אבל אם אי אפשר, look further now in משנה ברורה, רוצה לומר שיתבטל המצווה דאורייתא לגמרי אם לא יעשנה ביום ההוא. If you wouldn't do it right now, the mitzvah דאורייתא will be בטל.
No, we said everyone agrees, then you do the oraita.
Correct.
If you didn't do
מה שכתב לקמל.
Then you do milah, of course. But it's interesting what you're saying. I think we don't do the milah first. We pray regular, we do megillah, and then we have the milah.
You do the Pri Chadash. משנה ברורה, רואה את אשכנזים, it says it by the Ashkenazim somehow.
How do they do the milah before they pray? I mean, the megillah is part of the prayer.
No, but normally in the shul, right after Shachrit, you do the brit, and then you read the Megillah.
Oh, you don't read it in like we do?
No, we do it the same as you, but right after Shachrit, you pray the Brit Milah first, and then the Megillah. Let's go back now. Let's go back to the Gemara. The Gemara says, we started, Jeffrey, by the question. The Gemara says, Mevatlim Talmud Torah, ובאים לשמוע מקרא מגילה, and the obvious question was, Megillah is also Talmud Torah, הוא וגדולי האחרונים, זה בית אפרים, זה סנהדרין, רבי יהודה, כולם שואלים את השאלה, איזה לשון זה מבטלים? So the Mishnah Berurah indirectly gave us an answer. It says if you have a class every night, they say we can read the Megillah in our class. He's saying that Kriyat HaMegillah, is everything okay there?
Who's on the Zoom?
Well, we learned about Nechira last week, so we want to explain Nocher in the what was it, the Rambam Shulchan Nocher, right? So there you go.
This is exactly.
I see you lost an hour.
So this is
Yeah, that's why it's silent.
So this is exactly the Mishnah Berurah indirectly answered. Interestingly, we have a class every night. We can read the Megillah there. Says the Shulchan Aruch according to the Mishnah Berurah, go to the main minyan and don't read it in your small, in order to have their class. I mean, this is, but you realize this is a much bigger question than. Remember, when you talk to Baalei Batim, you cannot say it, but if a person has a choice to learn any Yaakov or to say Chok, or to learn Gemara B'Iyul, the Kuli Alma Repligi, the Gemara B'Iyul is.
Right.
זאת אומרת, שתלמוד תורה is not only the reading of the psukim. As the level of the learning is a bigger level, but since we don't know the case, Jeffrey, we don't know the case, so many.
Rabbi Prague, Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha.
Is it the first day of Rosh Chodesh or the second day? So
This one is, by the way, this one is good because it's both Adar.
Yeah.
It's Adar.
So the Chidush is here, even though reading the Megillah is a learning and a much lower, quote unquote, form of learning, it's basically a story. Obviously, it depends by everyone, yes? So again, we have a class. We can go to shul or read the Megillah much quicker and learn. מבטלים תלמוד תורה, the פרסומי ניסה of the Megillah is so big.
Do ladies have that issue? In other words, many times ladies can go to somebody's home and maybe they'll have 12 people to read the Megillah or something, or they could go to shul. Does it matter for them?
Yeah, but this men and women are obligated the same. So if a woman has a choice to go to a shul and have it,
If she doesn't have young kids,
the same as a man.
Rabbi, what happens if you're a sofer and you're sitting at home and you're writing a Megillah? And you're saying it, you don't say with the Megillah that it's sort of like that Kriyat Shema question, no?
This is your case is very famous.
I didn't know it. I just thought of it because we talk about that, Magia.
When you write the Megillah is not a complete Megillah. So when you wrote you read what you wrote only one pasuk. It doesn't have a Shem Megillah.
But what about if he says the whole thing?
Correct. If you wrote the entire Megillah, then you're right. Otherwise, the Megillah is not a kosher Megillah. So the Aruch HaShulchan says, the Chidush is, you're learning, 10 people are learning, coming to shul until they start, until everything, you definitely have Bitul Torah. Still, מבטלים, כך אומר ערוך השולחן.
See, but the word is mevatlin netchin. Like if you were giving a class normally, like on a Sunday, like today, and with 10 people, you wouldn't mevatel it. You would doche it.
Correct. But remember, so the way Mishnah Berurah, this is why I read the Mishnah Berurah first, Larry. Mishnah Berurah learned that all the cases here are postponed again. He says the Kohen must do the avodah because the avodah is the right. But normally you would think that the avodah in Beit HaMikdash should be before the Megillah. He says no, the Megillah should be first. All the examples that the Gemara gave us, yeah, this is the Chidush. If the Kohen cannot perform the avodah, he has no right to be mevatel mamash the avodah for the Mikra Megillah. The Rashash says an interesting case. The Rashash says, what happens if you have a rabbi who gives a class, the class already heard the Megillah. He did not hear the Megillah. He has a choice to learn with them. He didn't hear it yet. And he would read it later. The Yachid. Says the Rashash, Mevatim Talmud Torah is this case. If the teacher is going to teach, this is Mamash Talmud Torah the Rabbim. Mevatim, go hear the Megillah. This is a chidush. Because באמת is יוצא אפילו ביחיד. It's a מחלוקת Rabbi and Rabbanan, yes? מחלוקת Rabbi and Rabbanan. If Megillah must be read by Rabbim or the Tchila, everyone agrees that you have to do it by Rabbim, but the Abad you can read it for yourself. And here the Rashash says a chidush. The Rabbi did not hear. Talmidim heard already. If he is going to hear Rabbi Rabbim, he is mafsid the class. מבטלים תלמוד תורה ומקרא מגילה, ככה הוא לומד, which not everyone agrees, it's not pashut. If Megillah cannot be read but Rabim, then we understand it very good. If you can read it ביחיד, why should you? כך אומר הרשש. But really, to really understand it, let's look a second.
Rabbi Prague, the other mitzvot, Rabbi Prague, the other mitzvot of Purim, obviously do not have the same stringency as Kriya, correct?
Kriya is the Persum Elisa.
Right.
Mitzvot hayom. It's a mitzvah of Mishloach Manot.
Why can't we just say Kriya Megillah? He heard Megillah, but he didn't hear Bismanah, something like that we have other times. You know, he was Yotzei Kriya Megillah, the reading, but he didn't do it on time. But there's no time here. That's what's frustrating. Do you have all?
Maybe tomorrow we'll go to this money. We didn't go to this money. Hold on a minute. I'm bringing you brachot.
Jerry, I think you have to show the rabbi how to mute people individually.
Yeah, it's easy.
You can log off and then just log back on.
Yeah, the problem is, Eli, you can't mute those people there in the class that you want to mute, too. Like Jimmy, for example.
I don't know, Rabbi Masselton does. He mutes whoever he wants. He's
No,
a
but I'm
professional
sitting,
muter.
Jimmy's sitting there. How do we mute Jimmy?
Larry, Zoom has a new option. You can mute Ashkenazim only.
How are you, Jimmy? That would be a good feature, Jimmy. Selective mutation. That would be fun, Jimmy. You know what I mean? Nothing like Adar to spice up the month, right?
Not counted on my dime.
Look a second in Brachot, Daf Yud Aleph Amud Bet. Yud Aleph Amud Bet. Remember, the question is, why are we using the language Matlim Talmud Torah, the Mikra Megillah? It's also Talmud Torah, so we saw in Mishnah Berurah. The Vatlim means you push away, or Rashash wants to say Mamash Vatlim. Look to a fascinating Tosafot which the Shulchan Aruch follows. Look a second in Gemara Brachot 11b. First, let's look at the Gemara. Look at the Gemara here. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Look here. Look a second. First, look at my finger. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Hishkim lishnot. That's it. This morning we moved the clock. You woke up as usual, and it's still dark outside, you decided to learn, you didn't pray it. צריך לברך ברכת התורה. מי שקרא קריאת שמע, you got up, you went to shul, and you're praying, you didn't say ברכת התורה first. אין צריך לברך, you're not obligated to say ברכת אשר בחר בנו, why? שכבר נפטר באהבה רבה, which means אהבה רבה counts as ברכת התורה, yes?
We don't say רבה, we say אהבת העולם הבטן.
Yeah. מחלוקת ראשונים, אצל מחלוקת רב ושמואל.
But if it's in the Gemara, Rabbi, how come? Why is it?
יש מחלוקת רב ושמואל. Look at the Rashi right in the beginning of, look at the Rashi right in the beginning of the narrative. שכבר נפטר באהבה רבה שיש בה מעין ברכת התורה. ותן בלבנו ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים. So if a person says אהבת עולם, it counts as ברכת התורה because the main ברכת התורה can be found in אהבת עולם. Look at תוספות שכבר נפטר באהבה רבה. Listen to this. עד הלקח נאמרינו לכולו. נאמרינו עוד ברכות. בירושלמי יש, הדאמרינן שכבר נפטר באהבה רבה, והוא 6 שנה על אתר. ולמה יוצא, זה לאהבת עולם, ולמה יוצא בברכת התורה,
not למפרע.
והוא 6 שנה על אתר, פירוש, לאלתר שלמד מיד.
Oh, he had to learn right when he said it?
This after עמידה, remember you say אהבת עולם, שמע, after עמידה you have to say משנה. And everyone is asking, but yourself is asking. I'm saying Shema, why do I have to learn?
You have to have kavanah that you're doing it to... No, if you have kavanah in the Shema that you're doing it to learn, maybe you are yotzeh.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
Go bring some Mishnah Berurah Aleph. They bring 4. Again, the question is, everyone is asking it, all the Rishonim. But yourself. So Jimmy is saying one answer is, if I learn after Amidah, this is a proof that I had a kavanah to be a tzeh b'birkat HaTorah. This is what you say?
Well, in the morning, what do? We say Birkat Kohanim just to fulfill the what do you call it?
Of course, this question that we do is based on these 2 opinions in Tosfot. If you learn, I mean, this is like to show in Shulchan Aruch that he brings 2 opinions. Look further.
Why do you have to do anything if the mitzvah Torah is continual, like we said? Then you could
Good,
do the whole day. What are we?
So basically, if Birkat HaTorah is Birkat HaMitzvot, then you have to learn right after. If Birkat HaTorah is Birkat Shevach, like the Ramban says in Sefer HaMitzvot, there's no need to learn B'chlal. Shulchan Aruch brings 2 opinions if you have to learn right after Birkat HaTorah in the morning. Okay?
So
remember, to learn right after is the way we do.
But like Jeffrey said, the reason, if I learn in the morning, I say, if I learn 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't have to repeat it because a person's supposed to have Torah on his mind all day long.
Definitely what you said, look further into us.
But Rabbi Prague, this presupposes that, we're so used to opening up the Siddur and saying Birkat HaTorah, Yivarechecha, all that. This seems to be that wasn't there in the Siddur.
Yeah, whatever you have in the Siddur is based after we finish the Tosfot and we see the Shulchan Aruch. You understand? Yeah, but this is it, you're right. Because this, look at this.
They put that there to stop this problem.
Look further. ונשאר להרב רב יצחק כגון אנו. Remember, this is written 800 years ago. שאין אנו לומדים מיד לאחר תפילת השחר. It means they didn't say יברכך היו דברים, yes? שאנו טרודים והולכים כך בלא לימוד עד אמצע היום או יותר. We walk half a day or a little more. אמר אין אנו מברכים ברכת התורה פעם אחרת שאנו מתחילים ללמוד. Now, why is this question following the Yerushalmi? This question is based But if the Yerushalmi says that you have to learn right away, it means that you are not fulfilling the mitzvah of Birkat Torah unless you learn. So he's asking, we're not learning. Again, they understood the Yerushalmi that Birkat Torah counts as Birkat Mitzvot, and therefore, the same way you have to put tefillin on right after the bracha, the same is here. So he's asking him, we are not learning after Shachrit. Look what he says.
And you say they didn't have the text of the Bekot HaShachar.
Correct. Here, Larry, look at this. Ve'eshiv deri, hello kaimelan. We disagree with Yerushalmi, which means we believe that there is no need to learn right after Birkat Torah. So you have no problem. Many people learn Pshat Tosafot. The bracha is Birkat Sheva.
So that's what I'm saying. Is this a proof to the Ramban? That's what
this is many learn. This is exactly what it means. ולא קיימה לן כאותו ירושלמי, וגמרא שלנו לא אמרו, ואין צריך לאלתר ללמוד. There is opinion is exactly the Ramban. If it's Birkat Shevach, I said the Shevach, I can learn, I have a class at night. There's no need to say Birkat Torah again. Okay?
No, the Kohanim, the last piece you say, we do that.
Then,
but we do it to get out of the Safek. That's what we're doing it. We're just doing it to cover.
So look now, Eli brought us Shulchan Aruch.
And if you forgot that,
In a minute you'll see why we are bringing this topic now to Megillah in a second. Look a second in Siman Mem Zayin, Siman 47.
147 or 147?
Mem Zayin.
47, okay. Okay.
Look at Seif Zayin. Siman Mem Zayin, Seif Mem Zayin. Birkat Ahavat Olam poteret Birkat HaTorah. As we saw in the Gemara. Lamad miyad, he copies the Yerushalmi. You see the little chet near him, Lamad, Yerushalmi sham. See, Yerushalmi. Now, Seif chet, ויש להסתפק, ייסגי בקורא קריאת שמע סמוך למיד בלי הפסק.
Which is he's going to do.
Maybe, since you are saying קריאת שמע anyway, so yeah, you are יוצא. There's no need to learn other things. ולכן, יש להיזהר לברך ברכת התורה, קודם אהבת עולם. He's מסתפק if you have to learn or not. Says try to say ברכת התורה before. Now, look further. יש אומרים שאם הפסיק בין ברכת התורה ללימודו, אין בכך כלום. This is what we just saw in Tosfot, yes. Because the bracha is not ברכת המצוות, it's ברכת שבח. והנכון שלא להפסיק ביניהם, שפריר, וכן נהגו לו ברכת כהנים סמוך לברכת התורה.
Avoid the problem.
This is exactly the reason why we have it automatically. So Larry, when you said before the Siddur, this is the Siddur, yes? We are placing in the Siddur Yevarech Echad Birkat Kohanim
To avoid the problem.
Avoid the problem. But what is the problem? The problem is it Birkat Sheva?
Yeah,
Now here's the problem, the real problem.
But you can turn it off and log back. Let them log back on.
I'm not sure what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Because you.
No, I could tell you it is, but I'm not going to tell you.
So don't say the name.
No, Rabbi. You have fun. Log off and let them log back on. Whoever's awake will log back on. The other guy automatically is not going to log back on because he's out. No, I don't know how to do that.
It's okay.
Now, I think I know, but
I know you know what. I know you know very well who you know. That's why we're not saying. You don't say. What's the difference?
So the question.
Rabbi, there's only two people on the Zoom, Larry and the guy. So we, It's
no. There are many more.
Eli, I haven't heard Eli's voice. Man.
No, it tells you, but let's leave it alone.
Eli is for sure.
You don't have to be Rabbi Akiva Eger to figure this out. Let me tell you.
Here's the point. The point is, look at Look a second, at Tosfot, go back at Tosfot and leave the Shulchan Aruch. But the first answer is we don't posek. ועוד אפילו לפי הירושלמי דווקא הרבה, זה לא אב ועיקר ברכה לברכת התורה. Tosafot are saying only, why is Yerushalmi saying it? Because אהבה רבה is basically ברכת קריאת שמע.
No, זה לא אב
ועיקר ברכה לברכת התורה.
Right, it's not the main reason we're saying it.
בעיקר אהבה רבה לקריאת שמע ניתן,
Right.
ובשבילי אינו נפטר מברכת התורה, אלא אם ילמוד מיד.
This is a good answer, by the way. It's a nice answer.
He's saying that you are not really doing it. You are doing it ברכות קריאת שמע.
It happens to be.
We are יוצא to do it. So only, but again, this is a good answer.
We talk about Friday night, right? When you say Vaychalu, if you have in mind to be Yotzei Kiddush, you can be Yotzei Kiddush, but we're not because we don't have it in mind. No? Isn't it the same thing, Rabbi?
Right, because there's no kavanah. Let's close it up. Only because I don't want to laugh. I'm sure you can do it.
I feel I haven't been able to affect what I haven't done my job.
Before I said the Perashat, they had the Hebrew station and it was giving halachot. So I'm wondering if I should turn it off.
Chacham Ovadia once, you did it? Thank you.
No, we hear him. No?
Jeffrey, I won't take it personally that you muted me. Don't worry about it.
That's the Ashkenazic word.
No, I know this is a plot. Rabbi Prague and I discussed this many times. During Adar, they plot against us. We're going to read the Megillah twice against the Sfarad of Rabbi Prague. That's all.
Larry, you're listening too much to Donald Trump with the deep state, you know?
That's just what I'm doing.
If we muted, it didn't work.
No,
old timers, I know from my father, you don't leave the house. You say, but God, you say, but this way you cover yourself. You don't deal with all this stuff.
His question is, if you're listening to your car, you have to say the
Yeah, I'm gonna go off.
Yeah, Jeffrey, mute everybody, and then whoever's not will go on. Whoever's not sleeping will unmute themselves.
I left.
He got it now. He got it.
Okay.
Yeah, now we got it. Yeah. Okay. Look a second, Anila's question here. Look a second back at the Shulchan Aruch. Look at Shulchan Aruch. Seif Dalet. Eli, listen to Shulchan Aruch Seif Dalet. המהרהר דברי תורה אינו צריך לברך. You come to my age, you wake up in the middle of the night and you cannot fall asleep. You want to review tomorrow's class at Shulchan Aruch, there's no need. Why? It's in your mind.
Isn't that the Rav have? Isn't the Rav have stuff on this? The Rav I think says like stuff on like this.
They disagree because he says you might come to say something.
Rav Vilna strongly disagrees because he says that the bracha is a mitzvah Talmud Torah, not an fine. But here's the question: listening to a class is the same as me'arher or not? Chacham Yitzchak Yosef wants to say you have to say bracha.
Yeah, I think it's more than me'arher.
That's because you are learning. I mean, you open the cassette to hear.
By the way, if you're listening to a class on a tape class,
exactly the same.
But that's not Torah. You're learning Torah, but
you're learning to a tape class. It's definitely.
No, but I'm just saying. You have a tape class.
If I'm looking in a book and I'm not reading it, but I'm thinking about what's in the book.
Right.
You're learning.
Now listen.
So what is there, Rabbi?
But aren't the great rabbis are learning when they're thinking about it?
Sure.
You review what you heard today in Shabbat. Saturday night you review it. אין לך כוונה ללמוד. It comes to, תשמע דבר פלא. Some people are saying as follows, זה דבר עמוק מאוד. if I say Shema now, I'm reading Perashat Pekudei, of course I have to say Birkat Torah. This is Chumash. Why am I saying Shema every morning? Am I saying it as Divrei Torah or because there is a mitzvah in the Torah to say Shema? Some say, since the Kriyat Shema that I say in the morning, I'm saying it as a fulfillment of mitzvah Shema, even though it's Divrei Torah, it doesn't count as Divrei Torah. You know?
Because you have a different kavanah.
Right. Again, the question is, Shulchan Aruch says, the Yerushalmi says, Ahavat Olam counts as Birkat Torah only if you learn right after. Says the Beit Yosef, why? I said Shema. Some say, but the Shema that you said as Kiyum Mitzvah Shema.
But let's say you have double kavanah. That's my question.
So if you have the double, look now in
Siman kavanah, you should be yotzeh.
Look now in Siman Memvav. Go to Siman Memvav. Sif Tet. Siman Memvav, Sif Memvav. לא יקרא פסוקים קודם ברכת התורה, אף על פי שהוא...
Memvav and Orach Chai, wait, Memvav what?
46:9.
Oh, 46:9. Okay, good.
לא יקרא פסוקים. You know what he says? When you say Selichot, Jimmy, there are many psukim in Selichot.
Right.
Should you say Birkat Torah?
You do it, of course we say it before.
Says Shulchan Aruch, לא יקרא פסוקים קודם קריאת התורה, אף על פי שהוא אומר...
يعني say ברכת השחר.
ויש אומרים שאין לחוש, כיוון שאינו אומרם אלא דרך תחנונים. The פסוקים that you say סליחות, it's not a דברי תורה. We're saying סליחות now. Hashem slach lanu as you did by Moshe Rabbeinu. This is exactly the two opinions. If you hear the depth of the second opinion, you understand why the Yerushalmi says that Shema cannot be counted as the Divrei Torah. Because I am saying it to fulfill Vav Kriyat Shema. So this is another way of learning. Let's go back now to Mikra Megillah. The question, we started the question, מבטלים תלמוד תורה למקרא מגילה. מגילה is Talmud Torah. I am coming to fulfill mitzvah Megillah, not mitzvah.
Not Talmud Torah.
Yes, the same way that Shema, even though it is Torah, but my kavanah is for Shema, I'm coming to hear mitzvah Kriyat Megillah, not, which means if I teach tomorrow Megillat Esther, of course I have to say Birkat Torah. It is Torah. But מבטלים Talmud Torah, which is mamash Talmud Torah, לשמוע מקרא מגילה, which is mitzvat מקרא מגילה, the same as mitzvat Kriyat Shema, doesn't count. We'll continue tomorrow.
Great.
Chodesh Tov, everybody.
Chodesh Tov is right. It'd be a great Chodesh. We could use it. The news is horrific.
This is really, believe me, it's for that Musaf I had in mind Israel all the time.
Unbelievable. Hey, we need an 8 ratzon like nobody. By Prague, the news is... You know, unfortunately, you know that yeshiva we visited in Eli. Remember that? Yesterday, the 20th boy.
20th boy.
What? Who's it?
No, a certain yeshiva.
Over the years, they've lost this year. They have this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This yeshiva.
You make the students go to war.
That's these people.